more for good measure.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Steelin for a Livin podcast. I'm your host, Walker Robinson, here today with Chris Luneau and the White Buffalo, my great friends, and need little introduction. They are a staple around this music scene, and I'm happy to have them on today. Also joining us today is my friend and co-host today, Travis Holt, local historian, and among other things, movie star.
Let's not push that too far.
So I'm here today with Chris Luneau. What are you guys up to? You guys have been busy as of late, right?
We're starting to get busy. We got a slower start this year than we normally do, but I was okay with that. But it's picking up.
We're getting
now.
older.
It's a rolling start.
So you guys do something that I admire, and that's take like the last couple months of the year and maybe the first one of the year off for like family time and stuff, which I appreciate that a lot. And so explain how that kind of got started. Is that something that you guys just like?
Well, we're all married. Yeah, do you know how expensive the divorce is?
Wouldn't know.
It's either take those months off or lose half my stuff.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Yeah, we're not the boss at the house.
Yeah. I mean, gigs wind down around that time of year, and we've all got stuff going on. We've got family commitments, and we like to recoup a little bit of that time. We have played some November and December gigs, and earlier in the year as well. So, but it's definitely something that, this is a project that we do because we love to do it, not because it pays bills or, we're going to make it. None of that. We do this because we love to do it, and so keeping that in mind. Family time is really important, I think, to all of us. Ashley asks me to get Josh out of the house, but the rest of the guys really appreciate being at home with the spouses and families. So.
And music is I've said this a lot. Music is a passion project, especially playing locally. Your chances of making it are so slim. There's so many great musicians in the world class musicians. And there's a lot of decent musicians who make world-class money. But the people around here are unlike a lot of the people I've seen in other towns and places. It's like around here we've got a good local crowd who never gets tired of seeing the same bands. They're down to party every weekend, which is awesome. So you guys just played on the square, right?
Yeah, did that Friday night.
So Harrison Music on the square. Was it packed? I didn't get to make it.
It was a good bit of people.
It was great.
Yeah. Better than I expected. Weather was cooperative. It was fun.
Yeah.
Too. Good crowd. It's always Friday night gigs are tough when you're running out of work and you run down there and try and set up your own sound. And, always a little crazy, but all in all, it was super fun. And Harrison's doing a really good job with that.
Yeah,
great job. I know you guys are playing there later this year. There's a lot of local talent that's going to be there, and there's lots of opportunities at Creekside. So they seem to be committed to like bringing in some music and making it happen.
Yeah, and Matt Bell and the city of Harrison are just doing a phenomenal job at keeping the wheels rolling. That's such a huge part of it, because whenever you get not only a fan base around here that supports local music, but you have the government, the local government, supporting it helps a ton.
It's a big help.
Yeah.
But speaking,
Oh,
no, go ahead.
I noticed something interesting Friday. Of course, anytime you're in a band with a bunch of people, so there's 5 of us, there's going to be 5 different opinions of how Friday went. And you play for such a long time, you set a certain bar for yourself. And I had fun Friday, but man, it was just fighting guitars, fighting equipment. You know how it is. Some nights you can't play a wrong note. And some nights you earn that check. Yeah. But that's me from my perspective. And then on the other hand, other side of the stage, Eric could have had the best night of his life.
Right.
So here I get done, and I'm kicking myself, beating myself up over it. Like, oh, that was trash. I'm out of the band. I'm selling my guitar, so I never play it again. And I go back, and people start putting videos online, and I watch it, and like, man, that wasn't bad at all.
I know. I spent the first half of Friday, when we're playing, literally the first half of Friday, I'm just fighting the PA the whole time. Trying to get monitors, trying to get Rick to where he can hear, trying to figure out.
Takes a lot.
So instantly.
I need the 5150 stat.
Yeah, there's a good chance that the next time you see Rick, if I place the monitor on his right side, that he may actually have to put it on his shoulder.
Instantly, I went from, we're struggling. I went from everything's going to be great to how do I make sure and not let anybody know, because crowd's got to see you up there having a good time.
Yeah. Smile.
Got to get that poker face.
Yeah.
Yes, performance 101. Look like you're having a good time, despite which I struggle with. If I'm playing a show and it's just all over the place, I get so frustrated.
But then you spend the rest of the gig in your own headspace.
Yes.
You spend the rest of the gig like, am I really that bad?
And everybody was so sweet to come out and watch us play our guitars and our instruments. Like, what are you gonna feel sorry for yourself about?
Absolutely.
And nobody's a worse critic of yourself than yourself.
100%. Yeah, there's been a lot of nights we left a bar or a stage and I just beat myself up all the way home.
Yep.
And then exactly what Josh said.
Looks like I'm driving off a bridge tonight.
Yeah, that's it. I guess I'll just put all my stuff on reverb. But and then you get home and you listen to a couple of videos and you're like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
just play your guitar and smile. It's not a big deal.
And I think it's important, though, to be critical of yourself.
Yeah,
too.
It is.
That's how you get the plateau or the bar that Josh was talking about.
Yeah.
That's how you got to it, or, well, maybe next time.
Yeah, if you get complacent, you get complacency is the worst thing that a musician can have.
Well, there's a balance between good is the enemy of great, or perfection also is the enemy of great.
Right.
If you don't let yourself just hit a few bad notes and just go on and keep having fun.
You can ask Anthony Kent. I am the world's harshest vocal coach. Whenever he's in there trying to lay takes down, I'm like, dude, if you can't sing it in tune any better than that, we'll find somebody else that can.
It's my band.
Knowing very well that I am the most fresh member of this band.
You said I'm bold to say
I have the least seniority. I have the least seniority. But I'm.
That's good.
But I know that if we do multiple takes and get it right, it'll be not unlistenable to me.
Right.
10 years down the road.
Well, and see, that's a different atmosphere entirely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Recording is so much different. I love live music for the fact that you can go home at the end of the night. You never have to hear it again. But I mean, when people post it on Facebook, I've seen people post videos of me back when I was starting to play steel. People posting videos of me on Facebook, and I'm like, take it down, take it off.
I hate seeing myself play. I hate seeing myself sing.
Yeah.
Or hearing myself sing. Hate it.
Yeah, it's
two-edged sword with recording. You've got a clean slate every time you click a button.
Yeah.
But you've also got a clean slate every time you click a button.
Yeah.
So where you're playing live, like, oh, that sucked. But the next one's going to be good. Keep playing the song. And when you restart every time, eventually you're like, man, just let me hit the bad notes.
Yeah. Recording is I mean, it literally exposes everything about you. Like this week, I've been trying to do some demos. I've been getting into production stuff with Logic and trying to start fighting that battle. And the demos that I sing the vocal on, I just can't listen to them because it's like, and even with Melodyne and everything, pitch correction and all that stuff, which is a blessing because you wonder, like, I was on my way home from Texarkana this weekend listening to George Strait's like 1980s albums, because we play those constantly. I get worn out on them, but I went back and just listened to them just for like perspective, and the vocal talent is crazy. It's
So,
like,
but, you ever seen any live tape of George?
Yeah.
There's some pitch stuff there
Yeah.
going on, and so it's kind of like Josh was saying. There's an endless supply of tape in those studios,
Yeah.
and now that it's digital, obviously it's
Yeah.
a different world.
Infinite restarts.
Yeah. So, but live music is live music.
yeah,
the beauty of it.
George's thing was he prioritized recording over. He was kind of like the
Yeah.
Steely Dan of country music. He sat in a studio for days and days at a time until he got it perfect.
Yeah, he's an all-pro.
Yeah. But I mean, whenever everything you put out is a number one,
Right.
why wouldn't you?
You don't realize how much he's put out until you see
Man.
like just an album of just number one hits.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
wow.
Every one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the man can sing about a chair.
Right.
That's always blown my mind.
He's the country Steely Dan.
Yeah.
He has everything to show for it except writing credits.
Exactly. He has not written one of his hits.
Man, what a career, though.
Yeah. I mean, Dean Dillon though.
Have you ever
he got
watched
rich
that
too.
documentary on Dean Dillon?
Yeah,
that's cool, man. That's
Dean
awesome.
Dillon is he's the king of songwriting. He has so many, he's probably as well off as a lot of the country stars just because of the amount of hits he's written. Like every George Strait, well, not everyone, but pretty close to every George Strait hit, and pretty much anything that was on the radio in the 1980s, he wrote it. So, yeah, he was a legend. But that stuff, I don't know. Is there any rock band that had as many, it's like 60 number one hits?
The Beatles.
The Beatles, I guess, would be.
It's always
Rolling
the big
Stones.
four: Beatles, Rolling Stones,
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, Clapton in some capacity through his passage in and out of multiple, whether it was on his own, Cream,
Right,
Derek
right.
and Dominoes,
Blind Faith.
yeah, Blonde Faith.
Well, then you had the biggest band in the world, which was Kiss.
Here we go.
Jason, you wouldn't pull up a chair.
This is your cue.
Jason, pull up a chair.
Let's just get
Let's
it
talk
out
about
there.
history.
Yeah. No beating around the bush.
How long have you been a Kiss fan, Rick?
Probably 50 years.
And you've always wore it with pride.
Yeah.
Kiss.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what Kiss song. I'll be like, hey man, I was listening on the way in and this was on. It doesn't matter what era. It doesn't matter what album. He's like, yeah, that's a good one. It does not matter. From the disco stuff, it doesn't matter.
Jason mentioned something Friday night that I'd never thought about it this way. There are a lot more, forgive me, there are a lot more technically advanced groups than Kiss. You're not going to find more of a good time band.
Yeah.
Right.
Every song just puts you in a good mood. Like, it's just fun
Yeah, the
music.
live show just
Oh,
being
absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah. I
Just
saw them
amazing.
in Springfield probably 5-10 years ago, something like that. Amazing. They were jumping a little lower, and a little slower. but
Yeah, I
They've been on the road
understand.
for 50 years.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that Jason and I did, we went to a play at the Lyric. It was the college was putting it on, and we went and watched, and we both kind of had the same connection. We're like, Paul Stanley had to have watched plays when he was writing these songs because that's the delivery. It's like everything's so dramatic. It's like,
Yeah.
What is the lyric? I'd fight hell to hold you. That's the one that he's on now, and I'm living vicariously through Jason's Kiss.
I know a lot of girls, man, but hell's pretty hot.
Rick, if you could have one, you only get one Kiss album from here to the end of time. You can only listen to one Kiss album forever. Which one is it?
You mean I don't get them all?
No, you can only have one Kiss. It can be any format,
Can't be greatest hits.
It can't be greatest hits. It's got to be one of the original releases.
Can't be alive. I'll go with Destroyer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the quintessential Kiss.
Oh, absolutely.
So actually,
Great production.
Weirdly enough, I do have a Kiss story. Do you know Pat Eddings?
Yes.
You know Pat. We call him
Yes.
Pat Man.
Yeah.
So his daughter was complaining one day. Pat's a huge Kiss fan, and he had that house there at Piercetown. We had the Kiss memorabilia, everything. And he had the big cardboard cutout of the Destroyer album, the guys off the Destroyer album. So Amber, if I recall this story right, made a comment one time, said, "Dad, how come we don't have a Christmas tree or something?" And she said, "I went on to school, didn't think about it." She said, "I come home and I open the door and the whole house is pitch black, and I hear her dad out of the darkness go, 'Behold the Christmas tree.'" He plugs in a cord and he had black lights strung around the Destroyer. Cut out. So it looked great until it caught fire.
Oh, no.
Then it quickly became a problem. But that forever, when someone talks about the Destroyer, I see that thing, and she said, "And I'll just never forget the smoke rolling off Gene Simmons' head."
What was Destroyer the one that was like the cartoon front and they're in there? Yeah. Dad had that on vinyl.
Yeah.
And I was like, that has to be the heaviest thing. And then I put it on and I was like, any song now. It's just about to get insane. You just kept going through it and you're like, it's not what I thought it was going to be. It's pretty good.
It's a must-have.
Yeah, you got to have it in the collection.
I mean, at the time though, Kiss was pretty heavy, like for the 70s.
Yeah, for that time.
This is pre Van Halen.
Right.
I mean, once
Yes.
Van Halen hit, everything shifted. It's like the shot heard around the world when Eddie Van Halen made Eruption, but pre Van Halen Kiss was pretty heavy and pretty out there.
Absolutely.
And
it was funny when they the whole Knights in Satan's Service, satanic stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They just kind of leaned into it. Here comes Gene, blood shooting out of his face and stuff. And they just sold more albums.
Oh, yeah.
Singing a
Gene
song
loved it.
called Love
Yeah.
Gun.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Chris, do you have a favorite Kiss album?
I don't.
He knows Black Diamond.
Probably a song.
And as a matter of fact, God of Thunder.
Which one has
Yeah.
Beth on it?
Destroyer.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's Josh's favorite album.
That's my favorite.
Heaviest album, heaviest song. Love it.
I mean, I'm partial to Dynasty because the disco stuff is.
Oh, yeah. It's cool.
I was made.
Exactly. That's what I put like when it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm starting to fall in and out of sleep driving down I-30. I was made. It wakes me right up.
I don't want to die to this.
Yeah, exactly. I cannot let Gene and Paul and Peter and Ace down.
Absolutely not. No.
You don't have to be technically the most advanced, to do the thing. Like my Mount Rushmore certainly has Fogerty on it, and God knows he's not a shredder by any stretch.
That's a cool pick. I've not heard Fogerty on a.
100%.
Oh, he's a
That's
huge
cool.
CCR fan.
Oh, absolutely.
Stuff you don't hear on the radio.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
We were just talking about that too.
What's that one? There's one song. If Dalton Brantley's watching this, he'll know. It's a Tombstone Shadow.
Oh, yeah.
Where he hits the same note for like 32 bars.
So I would say my favorite.
That's what's called
song-
taste.
I just had it.
What's it about?
Born to Move.
Okay.
Born to
All
Move.
right.
Is that
And
the
it's,
organ?
everything just drops out, and you get just like running with the devil, simple bass. And then it starts to build up, and then that B3 starts to just layer in.
That's
And then
awesome.
it rolls into a killer organ solo, and it's great rock and roll song.
That's awesome. So, as a band, who would you guys say is on your Mount Rushmore of influences collectively? Now, obviously, I know that everybody's Mount Rushmore is different, but collectively, who would you say is
Blackberry
on?
Smoke.
Definitely.
Blackberry
There
Smoke.
gotta be.
Steelwood.
Steelwood.
Steelwoods.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Can we go ahead and throw Waylon on there?
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah. And then Skinner, maybe?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be-
Waylon's on my personal.
Yeah, 100%. Waylon's
Yeah.
got to be on that list.
I was thinking Rush.
He's gonna say Kiss. you know, Josh really does. He really does the Paul Stanley thing. Where,
Oh, absolutely.
Now I want smoke to come from my guitar.
Yeah, man. Let me wire it up.
Yeah, usually it's just smoke coming from my amp.
I had a PV amp blow up this weekend. It was fun.
Trans tubes went out in it.
No, it wasn't even a trans tube. It was just a solid state. It was a Nashville 400. It's an early one.
Yeah.
And
Those are loud.
I was needing it. We were playing.
How'd you break that?
I was gonna say that's
Those roll off a truck.
Exactly. So, well,
What'd you do?
you know, they do, and they're very tough, and they're extremely. You can abuse them, which I do regularly, but whenever you turn them up loud, those old components lose tolerance over time, and those old Nashvilles are early transistor. Like that was very new technology in the early '80s. So they're huge transistors. They're like transistors that are in the size of a. Have you guys ever seen the back of an old PV amp? They've got those. They look like inserts.
Yep.
Those are huge transistors.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever they blow up like catch fire.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm playing with Wyatt Putman, and his band is very, very modern. It's it's basically a rock band with a country singer and a steel guitar. And so I've got all types of stuff I do, man. I got a synthesizer pedal. It's addictive to play synthesizer on steel guitar. Also sacrilegious, but
Sounds cool.
I look back.
I like it now.
I look back over one of my shoulders, and everything's fine. I look back over it again. All of a sudden, my amp's on fire. Like, just smoke is boiling out. I'm like, oh. Well, something bad happened. So I went to my backup amp, which is an older amp, and it was fine. It was great. But the Nashville, I'm going to have to order a new transistor for it. Or maybe all of them. I'm probably just going to rebuild it at this point.
One whack, for sure.
Do you guys remember CMT from when we were kids?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Nashville 400. Like, if they had a steel guitar on the stage,
man.
that silver cone in the middle of it.
Sit right behind
Yeah, you know it was going to be on there.
You know, Tom Barr was just drooling all over the
Those amps are heavy. Yeah. Those amps are heavy. Back when I was doing a lot of guitar work, I played through PVVT Classics, which are that same era.
Yeah.
Tube solid state hybrid, and they're stout amps. They're really good. That's the amps that Leonard Skinner. Well,
Was that the
same preamp that
I
Leonard
was going to
Skinner
say, did
used.
the Mace that they used, was it solid? Was it hybrid?
Is that what your 410
You
was?
they were both classics. You had a classic, which was it was 2 6L6s, then you had a Deuce, which was 4 6L6s, and then you had a Mace, which was 6. And the Mace could absolutely tear your head off. Like, you couldn't
What's the
play
loudest
it.
amp
The
ever
classic was pretty loud. Like, whenever we did the Leonard Skinner tribute, I had it pretty well cranked, and it was mind-blowingly loud.
Sounded good.
Sounds
Yeah.
awesome, though.
That was as soon as Tim Taylor asked me to be on that show, I was like, I'm gonna play dual VT amps, and he was like, okay.
That's the sound of Skinner.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who was a steel player, and he played some really, really, really dingy bars, like tiny stages, and with a full travel touring rig steel guitar, 2 PV Nashville 400s blaring.
Yikes.
This guy was a legend. Anyway, so he was driving to a gig one time, and he said the PV fell out of his. He left his bed down, and it rolled out, but the power cord got stuck in between where the tailgate, and he dragged it like 3 miles by the power cord. Got to the show, plugged it in, it worked great. He said it was a little skinned up, but it worked all right.
Did you ever meet Bob Estes?
Yeah.
Finest steel player for my money.
Yeah.
I love the way he plays.
I never got to hear him play, but I got to meet him.
Just incredibly smooth.
Yeah.
Was he the one
told
that was he backroom at Ashley's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know you're talking
Just,
about. Yep.
master musician.
Yeah, great player.
And he, I believe it was him, told me a story one time. They were setting up to play, and he had a Nashville 400 or something, take a dive off the stage, just set it back up, plugged it in, played the show.
Yeah. They're really tough. That's why I still use them. But the parts inside of them get old and degrade. And those old PVs, anything really anything right now built before 1980 needs new capacitors. And you
Well,
know,
it's weird to think those are 50-year-old amps.
Right,
You
right.
didn't feel like it, yeah.
Because when they say they last forever, they literally have lasted a lot of people forever. You know?
And what's the life? I don't want to get nerdy, but what's the lifespan of electrolytic cap? You're talking 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years probably, because they lose value over
They'll dry
time.
out.
Does it matter if it's got current running through it? If it sits unused, does it live longer than if it's in constant use?
That's a good question. If you bring it back up gently, I would imagine.
You do want to bring it back up gently. If you do buy an old amp that hasn't been plugged in, you do want to put it on a very
And
active.
you ever smell one blow up?
Oh
I
yeah.
had a 64 Ampeg Super Echo Twin, original big blueback Alnico Jensen's killer sounding amp once I had it recapped. But I got it home, I was so excited, and I plugged it in. I'm like, oh, this thing sounds so great. And 10 minutes into playing it, I'm like, oh, this thing smells like boiling eggs.
We call that the magic smoke. Where are y'all playing at this year? Anywhere interesting that the people should know about?
What's
Chris?
the Babes and Bacon thing?
The one I'm most excited for is the Bacon Bourbon Beer Fest up in Springfield.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fairgrounds.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's September, I think.
yeah, it's later in September. It'll be indoors at the Springfield. I don't have the date on my phone, but anytime you have bourbon, bacon, and beer being celebrated, I want to be a part of that.
Definitely.
And so we're playing at that. We're doing some private stuff. We're playing at the landing.
We've got one coming up that's like a truck something.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
at
private one up in
Siloam
Siloam
Springs,
Springs for a trucking company over there.
So I'm glad to get a second chance at a truck related gig. We played one, remember in Bentonville with Dan.
Yeah.
And
We had an
all
uninvited
I
guest.
knew,
Yes.
all I knew is it was a trucking convention. And so I order a T-shirt with a great big old lizard on it that says "I love lizards." You know, 'cause what goes better with a trucker than a good old goddamn lot lizard?
I mean, let's be honest. You know, like truckers, bikers. Those are our people.
Right.
These are our people, man.
Or so they thought.
Yeah. So we
Except-
get in there and it's a bunch of suits, man. It's the owners of the trucking company. And here I am with my lot lizard T-shirt.
It's all the corporate leadership. Yeah, and we're up there with, Was that the one with the fiddle player?
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude, he's
still
like,
have the
hey, I
pictures
play,
of
can I
that?
get my fiddle? And before I could say no, he was on the stage plugged in. And he keeps
He wasn't like 5'5", bald.
He's the guy that played briefly with.
had a mullet.
He played
Oh,
with
okay. So I was just making sure it wasn't Anthony Kent.
No. You would have kept him.
You would have said,
It's, you know, as a steel player, I'm sure you have to fight hard to get past this reputation. Fiddle players too, and lead guitar players overplay. And
Yes.
this dude would not shut up.
Oh God, it was horrible.
It was.
I have a personal vendetta against every fiddle player ever.
Does that include Anthony?
Yes.
Got that on record.
And he knows it.
Okay.
He knows it. But we have this. I mean, that's the thing. Whenever you're good enough friends and pals like y'all are, and you got good camaraderie, you can like kind of give jabs at each other, and it ends up making people better.
You can just straight up tell him.
Yeah. That's what I love about Anthony. He will take it on the chin, dude. If I'm like
Me and Eric, we've played together and Rick, we've played together now 17 years.
17 years. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
I don't know how
I
many
raised 'em.
times Eric has told me, Eric's told me through gritted teeth, balled up fists.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, if you play one more note noodling around between songs, you're going to have that guitar inside you.
I don't know why that drives me crazy. Honestly, though, like it's not. I don't think about it as much as I did a million years ago. But you know, looking back on it, Josh was a lot younger than I was, and so he's getting on stage and getting to let that amp breathe, let it rip.
22 years old.
He was living his best life, you know. And I'm over there trying to make some kind of weird production out of this deal. And thinking back on it, it's like he should just played.
Well,
Yeah.
you've got a 17-year-old kid now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
patience has really grown on you.
Yeah, you don't have a choice when it's girls.
I told my I had a class at North Ark called Introduction to Live Music Performance, and I told one of the lessons, and you guys will agree with this. Whenever you have to understand the difference in playing a club and playing a big stage. You know, if you're, you need to have what I would call your festival set list, which is like 45 minutes to an hour of your best stuff, your most entertaining best stuff. And then whenever you're going to play at a bar, have 4 hours of stuff that you're pretty good at, but the crowd likes, more importantly, and that really showcases your sound. But a lot of people have struggle to understand that, and that is the dismay of a lot of bands, especially young bands that are really trying to make it, and they want every show to be the Buckingham Palace. It's just
Donington.
You've got to enjoy club gigs, and that's what I love club gigs.
I love bar gigs.
I love them.
It's fun.
It's fun.
You talk some smack to people. You can, and I'm the world's worst to just hit. Like, if I hit a bad note or something, I will lean into it. I'll hit a series of god-awful notes on purpose.
It's that Jimmy Page philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a mistake if you play it 3 or 4 times.
Right. Bend it enough, it's in tune.
Lean into it.
But, a big challenge personally has been a balance of what's my favorite song to play versus what goes over the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's
I have a big problem with
big
that.
ego check.
That's huge.
Eric has to tell me a lot. They're like, dude, that's an awesome song. Nobody's going to know it.
Exactly.
I know, but come on.
And that's my thing. That's the biggest problem I have musically. I wish 7 South would stand up there and play nothing but 4/4 steel guitar, like straight up old school country. Johnny Bush. I've been on a Johnny Bush kick for like a year now. It's crazy. But all that stuff, it doesn't go over well here because the people here like, 80s, 90s country, 80s, 90s rock, That's the stuff that goes over well. And the people are just,
people want to dance and you want to make them cry.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
I want to make sure you're having a bad time.
Exactly. I want you to feel like your dog just got ran over, just because.
Little wine and steel.
Yeah. But hey, those are the songs that I love.
Those are sad crying songs. That's what I love.
There's nothing like George Jones, man. I've tried. We did. He stopped loving her today, and I look back at Drew. I'm like, you play this slow. I gave him like the classic teacher finger point. Like, you can play every other song fast on the crash. You play this slow and you play it on the hi hat. It's just.
If I catch you over there having fun.
Yeah.
Did you do that big wind up after the first line where you just run the slide all the way up?
Yeah, I did that after every line.
That's right.
One night we were playing here, and it got requested because Drew's he's a great rock and roll drummer. He's learning country stuff, and the country drumming to drummers is boring, which I understand. I totally get it. If I were a drummer,
it ain't no rush.
Agree, Rick. Agree. If I was a drummer, I would want to play rock too. It's more fun. But one night we were playing over here, and we got requested Together Again by Buck Owens, and I'm over there like I'm ready to go. I love Together Again. It's one of my favorite Steel songs. And I look back there, and Drew's playing the shuffle, and he is asleep. He's like 3/4 asleep, laid back up there with his head up on that wall, like actually tired. But yeah, we have fun. But that's one of the things that I had to learn is just to have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, it's not worth it.
So back in
Absolutely, yeah.
2015, 2016, something like that, Music Store had just closed. And so everybody's still kind of in touch, the regulars that would go to Ashley's and be in the back room and play. So there was a deal. It was David Farmer, amazing guitar player.
Great guitar player.
Dean Renfro.
Oh yeah.
I mean, say what you will about him. You're right. Love the guy. Killer musician.
He's a killer bass player.
And
Electronically, it was smart dude.
Right. Oh, yeah. He can fix an amp and tell a dirty joke like nobody else.
At the same time.
Youngblood, not Ron Youngblood, his nephew. I forget his name. He was singing, but both of them, they do that Merle Haggard thing so good. And they needed a drummer. And I said, well, heck, I'll play. And so I'd bring just a minimal drum set, like kick, snare, ride, hi-hats.
Yeah.
That's it. And at the time, I don't know if they do anymore, the Moose Lodge had Wi-Fi. And so, that was a mistake.
Yes, they do.
So here we are playing the countryest of country songs. And I'm back there behind the drums, and I've got my wallet on the kick drum, my phone propped up, watching these Jeep off-road videos.
I remember Donnie Lee telling me that he used to do that with one of those portable DVD players when he was playing country. We did a jam session at the Moose on Sunday, a couple Sundays ago, to try to raise money for their liquor license, and it was a great time. We had a great turnout. But the High Country Band, which is Donnie Lee's dad Jerry's band, which is extremely country, and I love it. Yeah, you play with them. Yeah. So they're extremely country, and I get to play. I play with them every chance I get because they're awesome, and lots of good steel guitar songs, and the drummer had some sort of prior commitment. So in comes Donnie Lee, and like Donnie is the king of cool. He's got he just pure swagger. Gets up on the drums. We're playing like some Hard X by the Number or something, and real shuffling. Donnie starts like Purdy shuffling. It was crazy. I was like, and then, just to add to it, he would skip beats on purpose and then get back in. In the singer Richard Webb, he'd look back behind his shoulder. He's like,
Is that boy okay back there?
What's he doing back there? And Jerry would say, yeah, he's kind of a Grateful Dead style drummer. That's what Jerry would say.
Don is so fun to play with.
Oh, he's great.
He's a good guy. Yeah, great guy.
He has a good time. If you don't have a good time playing with Donnie, you're missing out.
He could sing a pretty good AC/DC too.
Oh, yeah. Man, I hear his voice and I hear Molly Hatch.
All day.
Yeah.
He loves that stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's good. And being a drummer like he is, he can sing and play that.
Yeah.
And if you ever listen to Molly Hatchet, they don't play anything straight. It's all swung out the whole time.
Yeah.
He knows all the Molly Hatchet deep tracks, though. He knows all the deep stuff.
All the words. He knows all the stops. He knows everything.
Yeah. He got me into Steely Dan.
Yeah.
And he got me into like Michael McDonald and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm a huge Michael McDonald fan. All the yacht rock stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge yacht rock guy.
I mean, like you look back in that period, and it's not just the yacht rock thing. I'm talking about like you think of Toto and the Lukather era, all those musicians, all the people that made the yacht rock stuff too. Those are all kind of lumped in there. That was crazy talent. Crazy levels of talent.
Lukather's one that you don't know it, but you know all his songs.
Yes.
Yeah, like Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole album.
He played on literally every hit that came out of LA in the 80s.
Yeah, the Wrecking Crew, the whole Wrecking Crew thing.
Right.
Yeah, Toto was the 80s Wrecking Crew.
You guys ever heard Lukather's story about Eddie coming in and recording the Beat It solo, and they basically have to reverse engineer the song around the solo?
The entire finished song.
Yeah.
So they sent Eddie, because he lived in Los Angeles. They sent the master to Beat It, which was a mistake. They sent the master to Eddie Van Halen's studio, to his home studio, where he's like Albert Einstein and got all the freedom to, and so he basically rewrites the entire second half of the song and takes his faders and pulls out the vocals and stuff. But Michael refused to do another lead vocal track because he had it perfect. There was like 60 vocal takes on there, all of him beatboxing and making all of his noises and stuff. And so I think it was Jeff Porcaro and who was the drummer? Great drummer. Rick will attest to that.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Porcaro.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah.
It was Jeff Porcaro and Lukather had to go back and redo the entire second half of the song. And so the only way they could get the song back in the groove, because Picardo never played to a click, he made his own click. So they had to crank Michael Jackson's vocal channel, which was one of these mics, an SM7, which picks up a lot less than one of these. So they had to literally crank it to ear bleeding volume to get back in the ears where they could hear his headphone mix, make a click, and then they recorded the second half of that song.
Crazy.
Wow.
I watched hours of stuff just on that story because I love
Pretty
it.
amazing.
Who is the woman bass player? Kay?
Carol Kay.
Carol Kay.
Oh, yeah, Connie.
Did she record all the bass parts for
Yeah.
Motley Crue?
Oh, I don't know that.
I've never heard. I've heard that, but
There's a rumor going around that she did all the bass parts for Motley
probably
Crue.
did.
All the
Really?
first two Motley Crue albums.
Wow.
That's wild.
she played on everything else.
Yeah.
Nikki was dead at that time, but
I had to bring him back.
Call it old Carol 5.
Carol Joke, Steve. That's
Have you seen, there's a Wrecking Crew documentary.
Yeah, I've not
watched it.
But where she's talking about doing, is it Beat Goes On, Sonny and Cher? And they just had a 1-5 rotation, simple bass line. And she's like, no, that's no good. And then she starts playing the actual thing. And it's, man, those type of people, her, Glenn Campbell, that's talent that just, it's out of this world.
Yeah.
Those videos of Glenn right before he passed away, where he doesn't recognize his family and he can barely speak,
heartbreaking.
but they hand him a guitar
So I saw
and he
him.
just starts playing, man.
That's one of me and Ashley's first dates is we went and saw Glenn Campbell. And I didn't know he was sick. And I thought, man, what a shame to have the whole world right here and you're too drunk to even know what key you're singing.
Right.
But no, he was sick.
Yeah.
And he genuinely didn't know.
Yeah.
But you give him the guitar and point him to a key and give him a microphone. His guitar playing was spot on and his voice was just an angel.
go
Like
watch-
it always has been.
Watch those live solos that he played, like in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was, like,
Dude,
no,
STP.
right?
and
Okay,
Glenn
hands
doing
down the
Wichita
best cover.
Lineman.
Yeah.
That's
Wichita Lineman,
Yes.
best cover.
Yeah.
I get
That's
chill
him.
bumps thinking about
Brendan
it.
O'Brien's playing keys.
Him on Glenn on an Ovation acoustic guitar could do more than most lead guitar players with a full rig.
That's what I was going to say.
He's
Is
crazy.
No disrespect, you guys know I love Eddie, but before Eddie, and Glenn Campbell was playing at that level and
yeah.
beyond on an Ovation roundback.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
We're here with Chris Luneau and the White Buffalo. Now,
Steelin for a living.
Still for a Living podcast.
My name's Josh Still.
Saving that. He's been saving that since he found out.
Josh Steelin for a Living podcast. So we have some of these lovely Shelly Beth's fried pies. Thanks to our sponsor, Shelly Beth's Fried Pies, for making all this possible. And these are delicious. If you want to get my opinion on them, you can go back and watch the episode where I did a podcast with Shelly Beth, and I tried all of these and almost went into a diabetic coma voluntarily.
What's your favorite flavor?
Blackberry, hands down. But we've only got two of them. One of them's mine, so y'all can fight over the other one. Okay, but we're gonna get Chris Luneau and the White Buffalo their own Shelly Beth's fried pies, and we're gonna dig in and talk some more about stuff. So everybody dig in.
Go ahead, buddy. You go ahead first. Oh.
Walker, I had a thought.
I
You were
love apple,
talking
and
about
there's a bunch of apples, so I'm
playing
taking apple.
a PV guitar amp
Yeah.
with your steel. And did you ever meet Jack Condora?
I have heard of Jack Condora, but I never met him.
He died probably 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
And but he'd come in to Ashley's, and I talked to him quite a bit, and he had a really interesting perspective on things. And one of the most interesting gear-related things that he talked about was everybody wants a Nashville 400 or something of the like with a 15-inch speaker, ideally, a JBL. But they want that 15-inch speaker for the surface area. And he said what they don't get is the best amp I've ever played steel through he said his favorite was an old Tweed Bandmaster, which had 3 tens. And his argument was, and why he didn't say bassman for 4 tens, I don't know, but he argued pretty adamantly that you've got 30 inches of surface area, and being that you have the drivers driving smaller speakers, it's so much more efficient. And he swore by it.
Yeah.
But you saying that, talking about playing through a guitar amp, that kind of sparked that memory.
Yeah, so the steel guitar spectrum, the spectrum of steel guitar, it ranges from, I have 2 necks. E9.
Oh, Shelly.
Travis, get you on, bud.
I won't sleep tonight. I love them.
Shelly Beth's done it again.
Always like, how does she do that?
Oh, it's amazing.
Trade secret. On steel, so I played through a 15, but it's the same concept. The steel is capable of frequencies that go from below, the lowest string on a C6 steel, which would be the bottom neck of my steel, is a B, like a 5-string bass. It's very low, very tight and low. The top string is a G sharp above your little E on your guitar. So you've got that frequency range. So a lot of steel players use, speakers that can cover that frequency range. Now, the tens, I haven't tried playing steel through tens, but it would make sense because bass players play through tens. Bass players play through tens, and then you can always get the treble. You can get the treble anywhere.
Treble's easy to come by.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I've always loved about you guys. You guys have an ability that a lot of bands don't, and that's the ability to have 2 lead guitar players that are equally skilled in talent and
Well, I'm lead one.
Okay, we're not going to get into that.
He's lead number 1. I'm lead number 2. Is that how we've said it? I'm the lead. Right. Yeah, I'm the rhythm lead.
Didn't read the room well. Anyway,
it's very sensitive.
So you guys are great guitar players, but you guys never really walk on each other, which is a skill of its own, and that comes with years of playing with each other. But you all have been playing together before Chris, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So explain. Let's talk about a little bit how this band got to be, because it's kind of a combination of skilled musicians that came from all walks of life musically. So
It's Paul Michelle's fault.
Yeah, 100%. But before we get into that, you said about me and Eric not getting in each other's way. A lot of it comes from, and I don't want to speak for you, but I'm a genuine big fan of how Eric plays. And I don't want to get in the way when he's playing something, because I honestly, as somebody who enjoys what he has to say on a guitar, I want to hear it.
Well, I 100%. Like, I've learned more from Josh playing live than probably any other source that I've ever played, and I steal a lot of.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, no, sorry, you gonna pull this in?
Yeah. I don't think the mic got that.
Right, my bad. Yeah. I am not a country player. Like, I didn't grow up playing country, and I didn't fall in love with it until later in life. Right. I grew up. I cut my teeth on Zeppelin and Clapton, and and then later it was more the '80s stuff for me. So we kind of, we were in a band. We did church stuff together. That's how it started.
Yeah,
that's how we started. Is 3 of us actually played downstairs at a youth program for a guy named Paul Michelle, who we dearly love, one of the greatest vocalists.
Shout out Coulter Sullivan.
Corey Grace.
Man.
Coulter Sullivan played with us.
Killer musicians, great dudes.
Yeah, Corey Grace. We've been lucky to play with a bunch of really cool guys that we're still all close friends with. But that's what got us started. And we had a mutual friend who had a friend getting married, and that started us playing some gigs. It was Clint.
Oh yeah, Hayes.
Yeah.
That was our first gig, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And we had to go down and play on a trailer, and we just put together a bunch of songs and started working on stuff.
Yeah.
So we did that for a few years, and the singer at the time, family takes over. He's got 3 boys. He's
The mighty Dan Benton.
The mighty Dan Benton. He's
Love
chasing baseball players, and he's getting them graduated now.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, we stumbled into a situation where we're wanting to play more, and poor old Dan, he just can't play. He's busy. He's got commitments. And another guy that I know named Chris Luneau was kind of not gigging a lot. We just happened to notice that a band that we really liked all of a sudden wasn't gigging. So here we are. We've got the makings of a band.
Band needs singer, singer
with a
needs
singer.
band.
Yeah. We can know a singer.
Yeah.
And so one night I'm sitting at home and I'm just like, what the hell? I shoot a message. Hey man, you want to get together and jam sometime? Let's play some, whatever, and pick a few tunes. And so sure enough, we get together. Was that Clay Maxey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the garage. Sorry, Travis.
I'll try not to bring it up.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. And so I know me and Josh we'd played with another couple of singers, and we'd done some other stuff. And I remember leaving there going, damn, that boy can sing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Chris, tell us about your history in music.
Let's see. I started playing probably when I was 15. Just, got a guitar and started playing around a little bit. Then I got to where I could play just good enough to sing to, and that's about as far as I took my guitar skills. I was like, I can make a tune to sing to. But anyway, I did that for quite a while, and then I think like 2010 maybe was Ryan Five Ash had got a hold of me, and that was the first band I got in. We did that for, well, I guess it was 2018 when you...
Free Whiskey was your first band?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I had done a lot of talent.
Not know that.
I had done a lot of talent shows and stuff like that. No, it wasn't. Actually, I played with Billy Ralston, Chris Fowler, and Jason Willie.
Yeah.
We played in Billy's little room. Rick
might have been through
He got Rick.
Oh, yes.
Billy always wanted to call Rick because Chris couldn't come down from Fayetteville. He's like, I'll call Rick, and I was like, Rick ain't coming. I already know that. We've been drinking Busch Light since 10 that morning. Rick is not coming.
Very entertaining.
Did that for a while, just right out of high school, and then didn't. Just kind of played for myself or, here and there every now and then until about 2010 when Ryan called, and I got together with them, and we played till about 6-7 months before Eric got a hold of me. It just kind of went down. I wasn't going to practice it. My heart wasn't in it anymore,
Sure.
So I was just kind of like, no, I'm not going to make practice this week. And, it just kind of got less and less, and then when he called, I went over there and we played for a couple hours probably. I walked out of there. I was like, "Oh my God, what was that?" Yeah. Well, I never even heard anything that good.
That was
it blew my mind.
Whenever I got into this, of course, I got into the country scene by way of playing the Moose Lodge. I started when I was about 12.
So you started in the big time.
Yeah, I started on the main stage at the Moose Lodge. They had to bring my dinner to me because I couldn't leave the stage unless I was escorted by an adult. I was literally like reading comic books at the Moose Lodge. I was born in it. So, but I'd always, whenever I was in Newco, I was playing, we had Dalton Brantley, and Dalton Brantley was a huge Free Whiskey fan. He was a huge, and we were playing at this golf tournament at the Harrison Country Club, and Ryan Five Ash is out in the audience, and Dalton's like nervous. He's like, dude, and Ryan comes up to me and is like, "Hey, dude," he's like, Your tone sounds great. He's like, it sound better in this room though if you added some treble to it. Of course, I'm like a hotshot. I'm like, who's this guy? And Dalton's like, Dalton turns around. He's like, you better listen to him. That's Ryan Five Ash. I was like, I turned around. I was like, are you Ryan Five Ash? He's like, that's me. I was like, I'm gonna listen to what you said because just well respected, but definitely the legacy of that still lives on. You guys did some great stuff, but then you come into what you guys called at the beginning Bad Mojo.
Yeah.
How did you guys come up with the Bad Mojo name?
Gigs piling up, and
we were literally in Josh's basement just throwing Jello on the wall to see what stuck, and it was like, well, that sucks the least. None of us loved it. We never loved the name, and
we would still be Bad Mojo, but every time somebody would ask, "What's the name of your band?" Bad Mojo. Oh, okay, and they'll look you up online.
Yeah.
And there are so many
like
Bad
other-
Mojos, and they all suck.
Yeah. It was literally like exactly like Chris was like, "Hey, you guys want to go play this Crawdad Bowl?" And we're like, "Yeah, whatever." And then the realization, oh crap, we have to have a name before we can do something like this.
Yeah.
And that's literally how it came about. And once you start gigging, now it's you're busy and it doesn't really fit to do it, and that's why like when we changed, we did it before the year really kicked off last year, and so that's how we got there though.
So where did the new name come from? The new name is Chris Luneau and the White Buffalo, which I love. I love that name change.
I've always my whole life thought Great White Buffalo is the coolest name in the world.
That's awesome.
It already exists.
I loved Luneau as a name. Like it looks cool, it sounds cool. Nobody can say it. They screw it up every time, and I don't even care. But it looks like the name itself looks cool. And this is getting cheesy, but Chris is our spirit animal. Like he's the driving force. He's our sound. He's what we sound like. And so I was big on that. Josh told me, he was like, I just want White Buffalo in it. I love that name. I love it. And I was like, I went and looked at it, and I was like, there were other White Buffaloes, and I was like, I don't care. Chris Luneau and the White Buffalo, and he was like, do it.
They text me, I'm like, do it. That works.
Answer coming in again. We need a new name.
So, but I mean, it's like Chris really is. He's our spirit animal. He's the driving, the voice, the sound of it. So I wanted that represented in some way. I would have been, just thrilled with anything with him, with his name in it. We put buffaloes or armadillos or possums in there. I'm good either way, Josh. If it makes Josh happy, I'm happy.
That's awesome.
Well, and Chris, it'd be a shame not to have his name in it, because I know he's humble and he would never, say, put my name in the band name. But Chris is the most genuine dude.
Yep.
And he's the most real deal of all of us whenever it 100%. Comes to like the outlaw country, if you will, rock and roll. He's the real deal.
Josh has heard me say this, and I've said it a bunch of times. What little bit of that I can play electric guitar, I'd give every bit of it away if I could pick up an acoustic and strum a few chords and make my voice sound like he sounds.
Oh, yeah.
If I could do it, I'd throw every bit. I'd throw every bit of whatever I can play on guitar away just to be able to do that, because I can tell a story that Josh might appreciate, and Josh can tell a story that I might appreciate. But if you want to just entertain a room full of people, Chris can sit down with that old acoustic over there and bang out songs all night long. Yeah. And the first time I heard him was by himself was upstairs here. Yeah. And I was just like, man, that's amazing. Jamie Johnson, Waylon,
it don't get better.
Sturgill, doing Sturgill covers.
Well, I did used to do a lot of Sturgill.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember as a kid, because whenever I started playing, I was just an acoustic guitar player, singer,
I got a story on you, by the way.
So we'll get into our connection, Dustin. So I remember as a kid, going on YouTube and finding these 10-year-old music videos of Chris singing with Free Whiskey at the Branson Landing, and I was like, this dude, I believe that stuff, man.
Did we both play at the landing?
Were we there
Like
at the same
first
time?
we were up there?
We may have.
I think it was us and Dan, and Free Whiskey was up there too.
They may have been. I remember seeing Ryan up there, but he was on a balcony drinking beer. So
That might have just
Throwing
been before
beads.
we left.
It's interesting, like all the Free Whiskey guys and all of us have always been around each other and not known it. So like growing up, I went to this youth group over here, and Tyrell went to this one over here, and every now and then our churches would get together, and I would hear him play, and I played, you know, we're talking serious tone at an early age. I was playing a crate combo, and he was playing a slightly bigger crate combo. And I had my Strat, and he had, to me at the time, the coolest thing I've ever seen, a Gibson Sonics.
Wow.
But I would hear him play, and I'm like, this dude is unreal. Like, just a solid musician. And Chris, my first actual gig out playing a real deal gig was with Chris and Rick and Corey.
Nice.
And it was at, I think maybe it was for Guy, like a wedding or something. And back in like 2010.
Yeah.
Like Coulter let me borrow that Mesa.
yeah,
And
Express.
so I had an amp big enough to play.
Yeah.
Had 2 Strats. I was ready to roll, and I had the absolute time of my life.
It's that's awesome.
Didn't Tyrell kiss you at the Moose Lodge?
You may have. I may have kissed him.
There's a lot of stuff that
I
happens
get
at the Moose
affectionate
Lodge.
when I play.
The fact that you guys are all able to get along though is great. I love that. I love
Dude, I got
that.
nothing but respect for all those guys that
100%.
came, you know, and there's no place like this whole, you know, bands compete. There's no competition.
Absolutely
This
not.
is we do this because we love to do
Exactly.
it. Right.
No. Speak for yourself. I'm going to be the best guitar player. I'm going to be the biggest thing that Boone County's ever seen.
I got something to prove.
That's the joke is that, you know,
I got to prove it to Belfont.
straight out of Belfort. Yeah, I'm from the mean streets of Alpena.
You guys are right though. There's there's a small community of us. We've got to get along. We've got to have a good time, and I think we do a great job at that.
Absolutely. Build each other up.
Yeah.
And whatever you call success, there's enough of it forever.
Exactly.
That's what I was kind of leading to is that we talk about making it. Bro, I get a check every other week. I have health insurance, and I get to play live gigs with these dudes.
Yeah.
I did make it. I made it.
I've got the home life of my dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a great job, and I get to play music anytime I want with my best friends.
That's it.
It's-
What
that's-
more making it is there?
You know, and that's I think as you grow, you figure out what making it means.
Right.
Making it
And
for
I've
Eric.
seen Rick Watson naked.
Yeah.
You guys,
Every practice.
you guys will never understand how cool it is to be able to play with the rhythm section that you guys have. Ricky Watson
take it
and
for
Dustin
granted.
Witty. Ricky Watson and Dustin Witty are stout as a rhythm section.
We started covering a Stapleton tune in this last gig, and there's a little bass break in it, and the drums remind me of the Rolling Stones. Every time I hear it, that's what I think of.
It's like Miss You.
Every time I hear it, man, and I'm just like, there was one point in that song when we were playing Friday where I just stopped playing, and I was like, it could just be bass and drums and Chris singing that, and we would be just fine.
I play one note every other measure in the verses, and I am so happy with that.
Right, yeah.
I don't miss it a bit, man. I'm just enjoying everybody just doing their thing.
Making it looks a lot different at 50 than it does at
Right.
23, 24. That's the reality
Totally
of it
different.
is you couldn't pay me to go live on a tour bus right now.
Well, and it goes all the way back
I
to
don't know. Depends on how much that check is.
It's going to have to be a lot because a
Get
little
my
bit
sleeping bag.
of time I've spent on them. Once I was away from the family a while, that's when I was like, now I see why the 20-year-olds like doing this.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. It goes all the way back to the beginning when we were talking about taking the end of the year off.
Yeah.
I love my family.
Yeah.
I want to spend some time with my wife.
Yeah.
And Bruno. And the dog.
And my dog.
Yeah.
You're the best dog in the world.
But hey,
The goodest boy.
I knew Rick was a legend from way back. Some of the first gigs I ever saw live were you and Phil, and George, and what was that girl's name?
Jesse.
Jesse,
It was right upstairs.
Right up here,
Phil
yeah.
had
Years
an
ago.
old Marshall half stack, like a plexi, and he was wearing. I thought Phil Smith was better than Van
Yeah,
Halen.
can we just talk for a second
Phil
about
Smith
how
is better than Van Halen.
Well, just guitar smiths in general.
Oh, yeah.
All of us.
Who didn't look up to Phil?
Listen,
You know, that's a
so
lot shorter list.
Here's like 13-year-old Eric going into Ashley's, being locked in a room, and there's Philip Smith, and he just oozed
Right.
cool. Like he had just gotten rid of a Les Paul that had a Floyd on it for a brand new Kramer Pacer, and at the time that was the guitar.
Yeah.
Like he had gold chain, play Van Halen, and I was like, This is it. This is the coolest guy in the planet. There's nobody cooler than this dude. Until the day I die, I'll always think that. But I saw them play up here, and George played sax and bass. Jessie was ripping. Her vocals
she
were
was
great.
great.
But this guy was on drums, and I was like, "That's crazy. I didn't know that you could do that. That's pretty wild." And I've been a fan ever since.
So we all are guitar smiths kids.
Yeah. Guitar Smiths was awesome.
I remember so many times my parents would come to town, grocery shopping or whatever, and they'd drop me off at the music store and come pick me up when they were done.
They were babysitters.
Exactly.
The first time I ever saw a Taylor guitar in person.
I asked Phil Smith and Jim Smith so many stupid questions, and they never once got frustrated. Or they're just hanging. They love to see the future musicians come through.
I'd like to go in there and just launch off on a question and just let him go. Hey Jim, do you think is Thin Lizzy really that good? Because you're gonna be there an hour, right?
He would defend Thin Lizzy to the grave.
Probably 2006, 2007. I went in, and Homer, Billy, all of them were in there, and I'm like, boy, I just love that John Mayer. Just listen to him go.
Oh my God. And monster players, the whole family, man, just a bunch of monster players.
Any Smith.
Yeah.
So I was, of course, the youngest of this group that was going in there hanging out and stuff. Y'all were probably all married by the time I was going in there hanging out and stuff. But Phil would never play. Like he would just always sit around and look and stuff. And I always wanted to hear him play because I'd heard legend of Phil's playing, but I never got to hear him out. And about a year before they closed, he got his old Kramer out and he let me look at it and let me play it. And
black one with the
the
broke
black
headstock?
one with the broke headstock. Yeah. Incredible. It stays in tune. You could drag that thing behind an airplane and it would stay in
Weighed
tune.
about 11 pounds.
Yeah. And I was playing on it and I started playing a Van Halen riff. It was like, I'm the one. Yeah. And he's like, let me see that. This is how he's like, this is how you play it. And I was like, I was like, okay. I was like, do Running with the Devil, the solo. He knows every Van Halen song. I was like, okay. I was like, play some Randy Rhoads. But see, he taught for so long, and all these kids that he kind of had to learn and be a Swiss Army knife and learn all this different stuff.
Oh yeah, I've still got the tab book where he wrote out Sweet Georgia Brown.
Yep. I have all mine that Jim. I took lessons from Jim.
I did too.
Did you really?
I think I still have the tab book that has how to pick out on top of Old Smoky.
Yeah, nice.
He'd be like, yeah, do this, and I'd be like, dun, 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 and he'd had his guitar over there. Just while I'm learning my stuff.
So
Phil always used those jazz threes, the little thick jazz threes, and he had that Kramer in there one day, and this is towards the end, but I was looking at it, he picked it up, and he just plays this ascending picked, all alternate picked lip, and he just rips it straight down without even, just effortlessly. He's looking at me when he's doing it. And he just kind of puts it up, and I'm just like, see you later.
I got 2 guitar lessons out of him. So this is, God, forever ago. I got 2 lessons in, and this was at his house down in his basement, and then Claridge went on strike. and that was it. But I got those two, and I didn't have anybody to tell. But up here, I'm like, I've been to the coolest place. I've been to the mountain.
So I never got to take lessons from Jim and Phil, but I did get to take lessons from Dustin Witty.
Okay.
Growing up, Dustin Witty was my guitar teacher, and did I apply myself? Absolutely not.
None of us did. None of us did.
Tell the story,
Okay,
Dustin.
so I was told, hey, we have this kid from Western Grove. He's a big Elvis fan. He's like, what, 5 or 6?
6, yeah.
6, yeah. He comes in with just a 3/4 size guitar, and I mean, he's floating when he walks in. He's just so happy. The personality you see today is actually more tame than it was as a 6-year-old. So he walks in, and you know, all open strings, singing "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog." And I haven't even taken this kid into the room yet. What in the world am I going to do? I don't even like Elvis. You know, I sure don't know any of his songs. You know? He didn't apply himself. He never quit talking. Dude, you could fit like 3,000 words into 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was awesome though, because you know, what'd you take lessons? A year?
No, it was more than that, because
Was
we
it
did it.
longer?
We did about a year at Guitar Smiths, and then went back, and then we started going to Amazing Grace Church,
Yes.
and we did lessons in there. And
remember that.
that was the point where I'd given up on guitar.
Yes.
I was like 8 years old, given up on guitar. I would go in there talking to Dustin and watch him play cool stuff. But in a way, that was learning. I mean, I was wondering. I was like, that's where I want to be. But
It
but Dustin,
disappears out of my life. I know that.
Yeah.
But I went to teaching, and I remember going down to a Western Grove basketball game, and Walker, who was a stud on the ball court,
if you want to say that.
he had this big attitude, and it's like, who is that guy? He looks so familiar. And before the whatever this is,
It's a must.
Listen to that.
and before all that, it hit me. It's like, oh my gosh, that's Walker. And then the Nuco stuff started.
Yeah.
And it all just it's come to fruition. It's really a cool thing.
Yeah, it is.
Really cool thing.
And Dustin and I have gotten to play together in several different groups than ours, and
Yeah.
with Derek Russell, who's immensely talented himself.
What happened to that guy?
Such a cool dude. He cracks me
That
up.
needs to happen.
Yeah.
We were at Buckets one night. That night he shows up and we're doing I Need You, and he just gets up on stage and starts singing harmony. I'm like, who the F is this dude? And why doesn't he come up and sing more?
He sang it in the
like
mic,
that. You
which
know,
is the
people
last
coming
time it
up.
was in tune.
But he come up anytime.
We did New Year's at Buckets one year. It was Nuco and Maggie B, or Magnolia Brown, and they I think they played first, we played second. It wasn't like an opener closer type of thing. We just it was 2 bands, and because they wanted us to play after midnight and keep playing. So we're playing, and we break into Nuco. One of our best covers that we could do was Call Me the Breeze, because Tracy could play all that lead guitar, Gary Rossington. He was a Gary Rossington nut. And I would just play, the Ed Kingfills and stuff in there. But then Derek comes up and starts singing the harmony, and I was mind blown. He can just do that. He can find the harmony. And he doesn't play stringed instruments. He's he's a drummer.
Harmony.
Yeah.
Well, and he's got that, like, you'll see him and he's got that thing that arches over the top of his head. Like, in front of him, he's just singing.
It's like Don Henley back there.
It was that night. I'd never practiced with him. I was filling in for their bass player.
Yeah.
And we hadn't had one practice. I'm going in cold. And I had obviously heard him sing, but never with he and Sam together. So I'm standing up there playing the bass, and the first song, I don't even remember, Sweet Nothings.
Yeah.
I think it's a Velvet Underground
Yeah.
song. Doing Sweet Nothings, and he comes in like, you have your standard harmony, and he's like
Falsetto high,
but he's still in his chest, singing all those high parts and stuff, and it's like, what the world is going on?
He's very
Talk about another
wild.
great guitar player,
Sam Apperson is
great guitar player.
He's great.
If you've never got to hear him, I mean, come out to a Maggie B show.
Yes, another great player, for
Oh,
real.
gosh.
And Maggie B just make it fun. Like they have so much fun with it.
It made me a bass player.
Yeah, they're kind of like
He had no choice.
they're kind
I had you guys, and then they took it to the next level.
They're kind of like a Swiss Army knife. They can do everything.
Yeah.
Like Derek can sing Neon Moon as good as he can sing Lonely as the Night.
That's
Nobody can sing Lonely as the Night. Nobody can sing Lonely as the Night except Derek. And and we talk about songs that Dustin and I have this conversation at least once a month. It's like songs that nobody covers just because they're so hard. Lonely as the Night's one of those songs. It's like
It's all vocal stuff.
it's the vocal stuff. The guitar and the everything else is not that bad, but the
when we think
the
of
solo's
stuff to-
cool.
Well, when we think of stuff to cover, it always comes down to, can Chris sing that?
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't practice like we once did, just because life in general, and we're comfortable with each other. But at the end of the year, we always get a list together. Hey, let's learn these. Original. It's like 12 songs, and it dwindles down to 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
But we always do that, and it's always, can Chris sing it?
Yeah.
And does he want to sing it?
Yeah, I don't have I can't hit the highs very well.
Well,
I was always
whenever you
along
can
that
hit
with
the
the
lows and the
lows.
mids like you can, you don't have to worry about hitting the highs well.
You have to call a lot of songs that we really
Right.
want to do.
Right.
But I just can't sing them.
Yeah.
So
They sound different when you change the keys.
They
Yeah,
sometimes.
they do.
We got a curveball the other day, and I was talking to Richard Harness, and he said, "Hey man, if you guys have a song recorded, let me know, and when we do this interview, we'll throw it on the radio." Great, we can find something. And so we had this recording from like a casino gig
Kansas Cross.
a few years ago. And so I took the song that had the least mistakes on my end. And like, great, and it's an original. Here we go. So I get to mixing it down. I've got everybody, I've got 20 or so individual tracks. And so I get to mixing, and I'm fighting the urge. Luckily, there's always that urge to get creative with it.
Yeah.
But we had a timeline, like a quick timeline. So I've got to just, eyes on the prize here. But man, just for me, there were some times I would get on. Well, my favorite part was I would mix the drums, and that was a blast. But my favorite, I would get Chris's vocal just totally isolated, and I would forget that I'm trying to do something,
Right.
and I would just be listening
we
to
did
it.
it the night after that
Right.
last practice.
After Chris
So
left, I'm
we're
like,
hanging
guys,
around.
this is the point.
Yeah,
Listen
so
to
he
this.
pulls up Logic or GarageBand or whatever you use, and just does just an isolation, just a solo on Chris's vocal part, and
It's magic.
it was. I was just like, damn, that's fantastic, man.
So, do you guys have any originals that are in the works that you guys are working on, like thinking about putting out some studio singles or EPs, anything like that?
I've been kicking around the idea of a concept album.
Of course,
I'm not joking. About these 2 little stray puppies that go into outer space, and
What are you going to call it?
bark at the moon.
we've got a few. Actually, Dustin wrote one. We're trying to come up with a good melody for it right now.
It's a little wordy.
Well,
bass
I've
players
been
write
going
wordy
through
songs. Ask Mike Walker.
rewording some
And
stuff.
so we're really, really good at buying some licks. Like me and Josh, I know we've talked about it a dozen times. We'll throw. There's no telling how many small takes, short takes I've got on my phone and on my computer of just something that I've done that I
Yeah.
want to turn into a song.
Yeah, one of these days I'll iron that out.
Yeah, and then it never happens. But if you get me to writing lyrics to something or creating melody, I'm terrible at it.
Unless you
All right, everybody, we're back. We got Chris Luneau and Josh Still with the guitar. This is bound to be entertaining. I'm sitting here with Chris Luneau and the White Buffalo. Where's your guys' next show at?
Where is our next? Whenever they tell me to get in the truck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Rick to tell me if he can play it the next one.
Be looking on Facebook
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they'll have it out on Facebook and it'll be great. But
We
I'm gonna let-
literally said before we got here, Hey, we should write down the gigs we got coming up.
Just check the inmate roster.
If we're all out of jail, we'll play.
Arkansas Jailbirds. All right. All right, y'all go ahead and do us one here to close us out.
Here's an original song. I came up with the majority of the music. Chris came up with all the words, and it sounds like this.
I never thought I'd take it this far. Your daddy always knew I would. I don't know if I'd say I'm sorry. And darling, even if I could, no, I ain't making no excuses. This bottle's always let you down, and now I'm sitting here in this bar with your memory to drown. And I keep rolling down the highway, and that old sun is going down. I'll just keep doing things the hard way till they lay me in the ground. It's 30 miles till Alabama. I don't know what I'm trying to find. I'll just keep searching in this bottle. Maybe I can drink you off my mind. And I'll keep rolling down the highway. Lord, that old sun is going down. I'll just keep doing things the hard way until they lay me in the ground. And I'll keep rolling down the highway. Lord, that old sun is going down. I'll just keep doing life the hard way until they lay me in the ground. Till they lay me in the ground.
Wow.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Incredible song. Incredible song, and you know, he hit that first lick on there. I was like, vocally, that's hard to do if you haven't tried that. So, we're going to wrap it up, but thank you once again to our sponsor, Shelly Beth's Fried Pies, and thank you again to Chris.
Awesome.
Thank you again to Chris Luneau and the White Buffalo. You can see them all around town or up in Springfield. These guys are truly incredible, and you will have a good time if you go out and see them. And I'm going to let Travis close us out.
Well, I'll say this, it's been great sitting here listening to you guys because I don't know much about music, but I just want to thank my mom and my parole officer for allowing me to hang out here. But seriously, y'all are great. It's great. It's great to sit and talk with y'all.
Y'all have a good one.
Having you.